What's going on, YouTube? So we're going to talk about a couple things this video. The first thing we're going to talk about is where you can find information for Stay 21. The second thing we're going to talk about is a little motivational speech. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is pretty much going to concern money in the military and how people see it. And a little bit on how I see it. That way it gives you some, some insight, some thought. That way you could just leave with something. Let's get into the video. All right, so bam, if you're trying to do Stay 21, if you're trying to do anything in the military or you're trying to do anything in life general, you got to make sure you put yourself in the positions to get the information that can help you. So the first thing I would say is get on Facebook and actually search Stay 21 group. Make sure you apply to this group, get in the group, and actually start to talk to the people and ask questions within the Stay 21 group. If you don't know if it's legit or not, just just ask the question and see, because then you'll be able to see you'll be able to gauge by the information you're getting if it's legit or not. Now, how do you see if it's legit information that you're receiving? I always tell people, man, fact check them. Make sure that they're actually giving you instructions, guidance, guidelines, manuals, instructions, anything like that. Like, they have to give you some black and white information on a piece of paper, a PDF file, some sort of direction. That way you could go ahead and verify the information yourself. You don't ever want to take somebody's advice off the internet without fact checking it. That just makes sense. All right, so when I was studying for my finals yesterday, man, I had this experience where I just had a flashback of life. And it was like, the guy was like, man, you have a really good work ethic. And I'm like, I know. And the reason why I felt like I know is because even years ago, 6-7 years ago, when I was on the mess decks on deployment, on the ship, on the CVN 73 or on the bush, and I was just riding through the sea, and I was always studying, right? I was always studying. And then somebody would always ask me man, why do you study so much? How do you study so much? Stuff like that. But the real truth of the matter is you got to really want it. You have to believe that you could change a situation, and if you can change a situation, you got to be able to put those steps in place, and you got to be willing to take those steps. And so once you already see the vision, then you get to take those steps towards that goal. That way you could get to where you want to be. And for me, I always see myself in a different place, a better space. It's I guess in a sense though, it's always something better. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you gotta envision better. That way you could do better. You know better, you do better type of thing. So yeah, man, everybody say this, if you just focus 6 months, it could change your whole life. And look at it this way. If you focus an entire year, and then you focus another year and an entire another year, man, you could definitely accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. That's kind of how I look at it. I don't look at my life 6 months at a time, only because for instance, once this semester ends, I get 2 weeks, and then I got to jump into another semester of school. After that semester ends, another 2 weeks, I got to jump into another semester of school. It's not really that simple of just saying that, oh, just focus on this particular time frame and things will be all right. You have to take breaks when you can, and then if you can, take them, and if you can't, you got to find a way to take them to take care of your mental health. But all in all, man, you just got to keep pushing and then having that goal in mind. That's just how I see it. So lastly, man, to talk with money. People in the military swear we don't get paid enough. Then do something about it. It's kind of like if you're choosing a career that don't make that much money, and then you get mad you don't make that much money. So the way I look at it is we all have choices, and I don't like to go back and forth to see why enlisted who has 20 years in don't get paid as much as an officer who only has 7 years in, because in the grand scheme of things, and I read this on the actual post and it made sense. It made me step back and think about it. The person who's been in 20 years enlisted, they don't have their job scope, what they do on a daily basis and what their job could actually produce. It's not the same if you have a Lieutenant JG or if you have a 04 or 05 that could literally take command of a whole unit. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of different. Our scope of job, not to say these people can't lead, it's just that the magnitude of leadership is going to be greater on the officer side versus on the enlisted side. Because you got to think about it, an officer could potentially be an admiral, but a enlisted will never be an admiral because they have to be an officer first. So it's kind of like the scope of your job, the grand scheme of things, how big Navy sees your job is how you get paid. So if you feel like you don't get paid enough, then either, move up in rank, or just get out the military and switch up to something that pays you, compensates you the way you want to be compensated. And that's just how I look at things. It's if you don't like your situation, try your best to change it. And if you can't change it, then you just kind of have to make the best of it. You know what I'm saying? Because whining and carrying on about it, it's kind of oh, please give me more money or something like that. I mean, the Navy could give you more money, but then it can't give you more money without giving the people who actually have the scope of job to perform at a higher level. They got to pay them more. It's kind of like being an AO is not the same thing as being a Navy SEAL. You see what I'm saying? The scope of job is way different. I don't say these things to upset anybody, so hopefully nobody gets upset. But all in all, man, YouTube, I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.